Of course, just before the break, we were covering that issue of impeachment and the trend that we are seeing in counties, with most county assemblies now using the impeachment threats against their governors. And we're asking, is it a misuse of their oversight role, or could this be a genuine attempt at oversight? I want us now to move to something else that has also been making headlines, and this features on the front page of the Daily Nation. I don't know why most other papers have decided to move on from this story. It's about the EGP, the Electronic Government Procurement System, that now pits governors against the central government. It features there on the Daily Nation. It's on page 6. Governors yesterday maintained their stand and demanded that Treasury stops forcing them to use the Electronic Government Procurement System, saying that it has paralyzed operations. Treasury rolled out the EGP in July for all public procurement processes, ending the previous model where entities procured goods and services independently and without central visibility. They say that the new procurement system is touted as a solution to funds misallocation and pending bills that we've just been discussing. County bosses insist they are not going to absorb UHC medics, and that's a different story. But on this issue of the EGP, and listening to the president, Wakili, and listening to the governors, and there seems to be a confusion. And if you look even at social media discussions, many people are wondering if the president should be talking down at the governors and telling them what to do. These are independent systems, and where they should be, I think the understanding is that there should be consultation between the two levels of government, and not one talking down at the other and saying, you have to do this now.
It's true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Constitution actually mandates that. I think this fixation with the imperial presidency is something that this president has not shown off. He's still fixated with the idea that he ought to be dictating the policy, directing the law, and the day-to-day management of even the county government. You can't do that. We have come from that period. And he has not, in my humble view, woken up to the reality of devolution. And everything, almost every policy that is being executed by his government is almost to annihilate, totally eliminate devolution, and which is why we are seeing these sort of problems that are cropping up. Mm-hmm. Today we have the e-governance, e-procurement that he's pushing down the throat of governors. So where was the sit down? Where is government policy in this? In my humble view, this sort of thing ought to involve the intergovernmental entity. And you have to sit down and see how the synergies can be brought about, the working together as envisaged under Section 6 of the county government, the Constitution. And if you look even at Section 6, subsection 6 of the County Government Act, it does actually say what the county government will do in terms of involving the people. Mm-hmm. At the very basic level, this e-procurement having been brought down, is it now government policy? Remember, any policy that you want to impose must have public participation. And then you don't overnight change and shift this system of yours. In my humble view, this is being pushed down the throat of the Kenya government, tied to the loans that are being, quote unquote, given to the Kenya government by in a manner that when you look at the end game, it is to benefit the external entity. It is not supposed to be bringing what they're saying, transparency in procurement, the hemorrhage of public funds being stemmed. No, I don't think so. This is control. And remember, he wants to micromanage our finances, our institutions, our governance, everything. The end game that he has is totally outside the Constitution. And you ask yourself, so you want to get into e-procurement. Have you told us about SHA, the problem that we're having with these funds that are going into these private entities that you have through this e-governance sort of system that you have brought about, railroading every process into that system? So in my view, the governors are right to say, wait a minute, no. We are supposed to be independent, and you are acting outside the Constitution. In fact, you should be impeached for this sort of action because you want to close down, as it were, the county governments and subjugate them, bring them under your control, the direct control of the national government. I have to ask, the National Treasury comes up with this policy. Fine, that's okay, no problem. Lay it on the table before the county governments. The Council of Governors ought then to distribute these to each of these counties. What are you hearing the CS of Finance, Honorable Mbadi, telling the county governors? Look, e-procurement or ship out. Ship up or ship out. This is a threat to the county governors, and it's a total, mess. And what you're doing is frowning upon the institutions that are there, that are established. Let me say this. If they wake up and tell us that you have these problems in procurement manually that you've been doing and all of that, but we have the legislative process. Remember, for you to get the funds coming from the control of budget, there are all these systems that you have to comply with. There are close to 25 steps that you have then to fulfill and ensure that, in fact, all the safety nets to ensure there's no financial hemorrhage of the public funds have been taken into account. Are you telling me that those those steps are not functional? Okay. What is this idea that you have to allow a foreigner to control your governance, your funding, and your everything? Remember, you do not own the internet systems that enable this to function. And yesterday I saw that Facebook wants to get involved and has bought shares in Safaricom's undersea cable system. What are we talking about? Facebook is the CIA. We are allowing a foreign government to control our own government. So what we're saying that you're giving up your sovereignty. Before this e-procurement can be pushed down the throat of county governments, let us have the contractual engagement of he who wants to run the e-procurement at the national and the county government level. Fine, you're telling us that the fund should go to the consolidated fund. Yes, I agree. But why do you want to have this micromanagement? Okay. What about the independence of the county governments, financially speaking? So this e-procurement, in my humble view, now it's being pushed down the throat by the foreign governments that are lending the foreign entities, not foreign governments, mostly foreign entities that want to have the control of our resources. And remember, neocolonialism shows its face today in the e-system.
Okay. Article 219 on revenue allocation.